All right, you guys, Starbucks drink of the day. This is an iced white mocha latte with strawberry puree foam on top. I've had this before. It's really good. It's like a strawberry chocolate cheesecake almost. It's so good. That is delicious. All right, you guys, we're getting to the end of this year. And what does that mean? Nothing really. I'm not someone who looks at the new year as a new start, because like I look at every day as a new start. I always do affirmations every day. I always make goals for myself every day, resolutions, all that stuff like that. So it doesn't really affect me. I'm also not wearing my ring because I'm running errands today, and I'm in the pink car. And if you guys know anything about me being in the pink car, it just attracts a lot of attention, sometimes wanted, sometimes unwanted. So I just, decided not to wear the ring today. But yeah, I just wanted to pop up on here real quick 2 things that are on my mind: the Chippendale show on Hulu, and Britney Spears, of course, and and an update to my book. So, okay, first and foremost, it's not really that big of a thing, but who's watching Chippendales on Hulu? There's 1 episode left. I highly recommend you binge watch it. I'm obsessed with Hulu right now. Like, if I were to sell a show to any network, I'd want it to be on Hulu. Like, I love the Dropout series they did. I love the Pam and Tommy series they did. I love the Kardashians, obviously, on Hulu. I love Chippendales. Like, they do really good series about, like, real people. Like, Dropout, Pam and Tommy, and Chippendales. Amazing. Chippendales took a dark turn last night. Oh my gosh. I love the guy who plays Nicholas Diorio. His name is Murray Bartlett, I believe. Obviously, the only other thing I seen him in was in White Lotus season 1. You guys know I'm obsessed with White Lotus. And can I tell you, the internet's kind of manifesting hard for me with White Lotus. Like, I've seen so many people like comment like, oh, you're gonna be on White Lotus. So I love that I just started that rumor, and it's like going around now, and that's what everyone's like guessing. It's like my announcement coming in January. I can tell you that's not it yet. That's not the announcement in January. Perhaps I'll be like the announcement around my birthday in May 8th, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's when I'll announce it. But I love that. Thank you guys, by the way. I just love seeing positivity, online. It's great. But I love him. He's so good, and he plays the Chippendales choreographer, and it's oh my god, it like really sat with me all night. Like, I love the show. I love the actor. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Kumaji, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to like mispronounce it because he's so great. We actually watched his movie The Big Sick with his that him and his wife like wrote, I think, based on their lives. It was really, really good. And yeah, those are the only 2 things I've seen him in, but I want to watch him in like everything because like he's so good in Chippendales. Like, he plays Steve Banerjee, the creator of Chippendales. So like everyone is actually phenomenal because the 2 male leads are amazing. Andrew Reynolds is in it, which is amazing. He was so good last night. I won't give any spoilers, but he had a really like emotional scene that like actually made me cry. And I don't really cry so much at like shows like that or like that kind of stuff, but I like stuck with me, and I just, Andrew Reynolds is so good. Like, he actually might be the best on the show. Maybe not like the best on the show because his part is relatively small, but he's the best, period. Like, I've loved him. I loved him in the Falsettos revival. I loved him in Book of Mormon. Girls, like, there's so many things, there's so many things he's been in. He's so good. He's so talented because he's such a, like, his voice is like literally butter. He sings the I Believe, like he originated the I Believe in Book of Mormon. So when I watched a Tony Award performance of him going like, I believe that ding, 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 ding. I used to know that whole song. I did like cover of it. I don't know why, but, and I believe, he just has such, like, he has like the best Broadway voice to me. Oh, I love him. I wish he was singing in Chippendales, but Juliette Lewis is amazing. I've always loved Juliette Lewis. To me, she was like my it girl growing up. Like, I thought she was great. From Dusk Till Dawn, Cape Fear, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, the other sister. She's been so good. Oh god, I wanted her career so bad. From Dusk Till Dawn, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Cape Fear. Those 3 movies like had a chokehold on me as a kid. Like, she was perfection. She still is perfection. She looks absolutely beautiful. I think her character might be a made-up character. I don't think she was based on a real life person because I watched the Chippendales documentary on Discovery Plus, and I don't think that. Anyways, but she's so good. Like, she's so good in it. Another great performance last night. Like, last night was a highly like high emotion episode, and it was so good. But that Murray Bartlett, the guy who plays Nicholas Diorio, I might be saying his name wrong too. He's so good. He's so good in everything. Again, I've only seen him in White Lotus in this, but he just stands out. He's just, oh god, he's phenomenal. And Annalee Ashford, she's in it too. She was in Impeachment, American, it's not American Horror Story, but like American Crime Story or something. She played Paula Jones, and she was like so good in that too. She's so good. And I saw her in Legally Blonde. Like, she's also like a phenomenal Broadway actress. So I love that these Broadway stars are like showing their actual like acting skills on TV too. I think it's amazing. So anyways, it's a really great show. Last night I was just like, I just sat with me after it happened. After I watched it, I was just like, how should I do? Okay, skip like 2 minutes ahead if you don't want to hear a spoiler alert. But I was just like, did you skip ahead? Okay, I'm looking. It says 5:40, so at 7:40 I'll stop talking about this. Like how can someone, like, I knew this, and then I also showed on the show, but like Steve Banerjee, the creator of Chippendales, hired someone to murder Nicholas Story, the choreographer, who kind of became his partner. Of course, not to Steve Banerjee. Steve was obviously very jealous of him. Nick was very like charismatic. He kind of was like the face of Chippendales. He'd like go on all these TV talk shows to promote, you know, Chippendales New York. It was his idea to go to New York with Chippendales. It was his idea to go on tour. He like basically had Steve like you know, gave him 50% of everything, and he kind of ran the show and did all the upfront costs. To me, I thought it was a pretty fair deal. Like, Steve wasn't thinking about moving the club to New York. He actually didn't want to. The tour too, he was like, what he wouldn't have thought of it. So I was like, okay, these are all ideas and revenue that you wouldn't have generated on your own. Like, I would be happy with that, you know? You just literally had to sit back and collect the checks. And he eventually had to close Chippendales LA because there was so much. Oh my God, this is why like lawsuits are just like, I avoid them at all costs. Even like, I won a lawsuit in 2018. I started in 2016. I won a lawsuit in 2018. And it was like, I hate lawsuits. I would never do it. But it literally was like, you know, I was leasing a house. I put $100,000 plus down for the house. Basically, that was a deposit plus 6 months rent to rent a house in 2015. So yeah, I was making like so much money back then. And I guess like just stupid. I could have like put a down payment on a house. I talked about this before recently actually, and I just, you know, I always thought like if you bought a $2 million house, you had to have $2 million up front, not knowing I could have took that 100,000 and bought like $1 million house. Anyways, I rented this house for a guy, which didn't even end up happening. I was like just like a side chick, and I didn't even know. Anyways, that's a whole other story. But basically, you know, there was like a $35,000 deposit. And I wanted to move out because I felt really like unsafe in the house. There was like no gate, and people like came up to it. And it was kind of like scary. It was too big for me, whatever. And so I was like, hey, can I like move out? You know, it was like 5 months in, and I was like, oh, you know, can I move out? I'm like, you know, you can keep the deposit, which is $35,000, if you can just give me back my last month's rent so I can like, you know, get a new place, because, you know, I was making a lot but spending a lot back then, sort of thing. So I didn't have the money to move out really. And he's like, yeah, sure, like, you made the deal, whatever, because that's a pretty good deal. Like, you keep $35,000, and all you have to do is give me back $12,500. That's how much the rent was. Excuse me. So then I had to sue, because I was just like, oh, like, you said we had that agreement that I could get out of it. So annoying, because like, you know, whatever. And I thought back then, like, if I sue for $12,000, you know, spend a couple thousand, get the $10,000, whatever. And like, honestly, it ended up costing me $100,000 in lawyers' fees. I won. Like, I never got my money. And like, there's things you can do to enforce the settlement and the judgment, and I just it's just like so messy, and I'm just like, oh, like, yes, that money is owed to me, and it's not really fair, but at the same time, I'm like, am I really, you know, you have to hire like a private investigator and go into bank accounts, and it just feels weird, even though the money is mine, and I'm like, I should at least I would at least like the last month's rent back, what we agreed on, my lawyer's fees of being $100,000 or whatever. I guess I would just eat that. It's more the principle, but you know, at this point, I'm just gonna let it go. It was 2018, like, I'm gonna let it go, which really, really, really sucks, and whatever. How did I even get on this? 2015. Oh my God, where did I go with that? I guess just, lawsuits and Chippendales. Yeah, that's why in general, I try to avoid lawsuits at all costs, or anything that could get me into a lawsuit. Like, you know, my husband and I, we have a property that we could like rent out, and we've had like renters interested, but like every time it gets there, I just get like not a bad feeling, just not an easy feeling, because my dad had, you know, he had a bunch of real estate at one point, and he would like, you know, do a bunch of like rental properties and stuff like that, and he like, you know, people just can sue for everything. You know, there's a thing now where it's like people sue if you don't have like a handicap ramp, which obviously you should and all that stuff like that, but you know, they try and find like anything to kind of like sue and get money, get a settlement, all that stuff like that. And it just I know someone else who sued for like something that they were like, some like washing machines in like the apartment or something. It was like a couple $100s a month or whatever, and the washing machine company was like taking the money. And so then they sued the washing machine company and like won, but then like, and they could take the stuff out, but then the washing machine company like sued for like not taking the equipment out properly or something. I don't know. It just gets so messy. Anyways, that's what happened with Chippendales. He was handing out these like VIP cards. I mean, I feel like a true crime podcast. I feel like Stephanie Sue. I should be having a mukbang right now. But he's handing out these VIP cards to basically Caucasian people, white people, which was like, okay, you can't really do that, right? But he got the idea because in the show, supposedly it's what it shows, is like, you know, he couldn't get into a restaurant because Steve Banerjee was Indian. And he couldn't get into a restaurant because of the color of his skin, and he hated it. But then he implemented that rule into his club, and he like lied about it. We got sued, lied. The bouncer was like, yes, you did do this. And that like really set them back. And yeah, just, it's, you know, I guess he did a lot of shady stuff. So you do shady stuff and that stuff will happen. It's unfortunate. So he had to close his club, which was like his dream. And what's so crazy is like he was like the American dream. He was an immigrant. I was gonna say, yeah, so he was an Indian immigrant, worked at a gas station for such a long time, saved up like $43,000 in like the 80s or 70s, and like started this like backgammon club, and then the backgammon club became Chippendales. He like, I don't know, it's a whole story. You should watch it, obviously. So like, and he turned it into something big, and it was big. And obviously the choreographer Nicholas Dior, I keep calling him Dior, I don't know his name. He isn't that a YouTuber? I feel like there's a YouTuber who like who like always is like critiquing. I don't know if he did like I think he did my wedding video. I think he does like, I don't know. I think he just like critiques me a lot. I'm not sure, but maybe that's not his name. Anyways, but the choreographer obviously like had a big part in changing Chippendales. Like he made it a show. He made it like dancing, and yeah, he was a big part of it. And so I just was like, and then he ended up killing him, murdering him, because he just, I guess, was jealous, was upset that the touring company was doing so good, maybe thought he was scamming him out of money. Like, we don't know how much money he's making. But he was getting good checks. I mean, they were showing like $90,000 checks, and this was in the 80s. And I was like, okay, the LA club closed down, so you don't have any cost. They filed for bankruptcy. I'm like, but you're still collecting these $90,000 checks from this touring company that's doing really well. Be happy with that. Like, what? It's crazy. But that's like where it goes. Money's the root of all evil, the greed of it all. And because he was 50-50 in it, I guess he felt like kind of slighted or duped or something with the contract that said like 50-50 in perpetuity. And I just learned what in perpetuity meant too. He's like, I didn't know what that meant. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that either. So yeah, but it's pretty wild. The acting's just really good, because I didn't know the story. I've seen the story. The story didn't affect me like the way it affected me, like watching it acted out. I was like, wow, they're so good. Good actors, just like, it's like good singers too. It just blows my mind how people are so good like that. It's because it's something like I've always wanted to do, and I just know I'm not like at that level, obviously. So I'm always in awe how people can make you feel some type of way. But that was really good. Britney Spears, okay. Britney Spears Instagram, guys. Look, I really don't like to do conspiracies. I don't like doing speculation, and it's exactly what I'm doing now. And I feel like Britney, if she saw this, would be like, you're not a real fan if you're like, you know, speculating and thinking bad about my husband. Because you know what? I would say the same thing. If I saw someone make a video about my husband being like, oh, Trisha's not happy. And I see that all the time. Like, I know how it feels. And Britney's so massive, so in my head, I'm like, okay, she's never gonna see this, she doesn't care. But, you know, she does, she's a human being. And even if she doesn't see it, like, I feel like the energy, she can feel energy, you know, right? Because I always think she's like that. Anyways, I really do love Britney, and I really do hope she's happy. But you know, her posts, you know, about her wedding and stuff. Because here's the thing, right? Like, my wedding didn't go perfect. And so, but I wouldn't write, and again, this is just me, you know, whatever, you can do whatever, people can do whatever they want, but I wouldn't write, like, I guess, bad things about it, where she thought she was like a bystander, where she was like, you know, everyone's having fun, there was lots of women around, people taking the mic, like, it just is like, first of all, it's very cryptic. Obviously, a lot of people, like, it's hard to decipher what she's trying to say. And maybe that's by design, maybe that's on purpose. But then she said something at the end of her wedding post. I don't think I get Wi-Fi on my other phone. I don't think. Yeah, I don't. I remember I looked last time. I should plug in my other phone so I can go live on TikTok. You guys, I'm on Cameo now too. I'm on Cameo. If you guys want to book me, I'll link it below. I have been doing so many cameos. It's like actually so much fun. I like, you know what? I was like fighting with it for so long. I was like, I don't know. Oh, this did not plug in. I didn't know how I felt about Cameo, but so many people have asked about it. Like, I literally get so many emails about it. So I was like, you know, perfect. Let me just get back on there. And honestly, it's been like really nice. The response has been amazing. I sing happy birthday to people on there. I literally do whatever. Like, any requests people have. Oh, scare me. Whatever requests people have, I do. So, if you guys want to book me, I don't know how long I'll be on there, but you know, I'll be on there for the time being. I probably should have done it before Christmas because people are like, this was a Christmas present, like, and I got it after Christmas. Anyways, yeah, there's that. But, Brittany. And then, then she said the thing about, you know, when am I going to meet your PS? When am I going to, this was like in one line, like, after her wedding caption, she goes, P.S. there was lots of women around. When will I meet your father, Hassam? And so then I did the research, and Hassam is Sam's birth name, and it's like not uncommon for, I don't know if he was born here, but I think he's of Persian descent. It's like not uncommon for people to change like a name that's a little easier for people to like say, or, you know, like my husband, his name's Moses, but in Hebrew it's Moshe. So like, like on his license up says Moshe Hoffman, and I love the name Moshe, but I know he like doesn't like it when I call him that. Not that he doesn't like it, but like he just likes the name Moses, and I like the name Moshe because I think it's something different and cool, but like he doesn't like it. So if I were to call him that, it would be more like, in the past it would be more to like irritate him or jab him. I don't know what Sam's relation is with his name, but it just like felt that way. I was just like, like, what is she trying to say? And ultimately I do think she's trying to say something. I don't think it's speculation to say like she's going through something. You know, there's obviously this like cry for attention or help, or like routing attention towards her or something, you know, because again, like, my wedding wasn't perfect, but I'm not gonna like go online to like have people like speculate about it. I don't really believe the conspiracies. Like, I saw something about like she wasn't actually at her wedding, the Rolls Royce, the thing, like the content was filmed earlier than the wedding. I don't know. I don't really believe all that. I feel like she's here. I don't think she's like a clone. Some people were like saying that they, what's that? It's a thing where they did with the Elvis movie where they put the face in the face and they make it real. I can't think of it, but that they're doing that. They're kind of like putting her face over her body. It smells like body. Like in the carriage, they said it was clearly like a guy and not her. Like you could tell it wasn't her face. I don't know, you know, and it's just weighing on my mind, which is why I'm talking about this. I don't think there's a solution or anything, and like it's obviously no one's business really. But you know, I feel like, again, as I always say in these videos, I just want Brittany to know that she's like loved and people support her no matter what. Like a while ago, the last Brittany video I did, there was speculation that there was something so bad that like if it got out to the public, oh my god, it would like totally ruin her, be horrible for her. And I couldn't think of what it would be, because in my eyes, and I'm sure this is in many Brittany stans' eyes, like there's nothing she could do that would be wrong. Like even like I don't know the worst case scenario. I like can't even think of it. Like the worst case scenario, I can't even like fathom what the worst case scenario would be that she'd get out. I feel everything she does and endures in life makes her who she is, and makes her more likable and relatable. And not because like, and that's not why, but like, you know, people go through shit, and her shit has been very public, and she's, you know, been like, all her stuff like comes out, and she kind of just tackles it head on. She comes through it, and I feel like that's the ultimate story, right? Is that we all go through shit. If we can come through it, like that's the beautiful story. That's the redemption story. That's not that she even has to redeem, because in my eyes, Brittany hasn't done anything like wrong. Like she's had a lot of like issues, obviously more than we probably know. She's been hurt. She's been used. I don't think she's ever done anything wrong. I don't believe in like a victim mentality. I believe like you can't be a victor and a victim, but in like the eyes of us, like Brittany is the victim, right? I hope she doesn't feel that way, because she's a winner in life, and you know, her perseverance is like what inspires me, and that's why I'm such a Brittany stan. But I don't know, I just hope she's happy, because the thing about this post, specifically about her husband and using his name and all that stuff like that, is like, you know, that's the one person, like my husband is the one person, oh my God, he's my rock. He's truly my rock. He does not weather. He doesn't get anxiety about things. Like yesterday, I was having like an issue or whatever, and he just like handled it for me. You know what I mean? Like I was on the phone, I was getting anxiety, I was like upset, and he just took over and handled it. He's like, you can go, you know, like meditate, whatever you need to do. And I did. I went and meditated. Something beautiful happened after that, which is why I always say breathe. Like whenever you start getting anxiety or overwhelmed, or like you feel like there's a lot of negativity going on, like literally, if you can, go to a room and just breathe, silence. So my daughter was taking a nap, and I just went into her room, and I just went to like look at her and check on her or whatever. And I was like, you know what? It was really nice and dark in there. I was like, let me just sit here and like breathe and meditate. And then I could still hear, obviously we have monitors, but I was like, then I can still hear whatever. And I just breathed, and I just took in silence. And I don't know if it was because my daughter's room has great energy. I've always loved that room. I used to meditate in there before it became her nursery. It has really great energy. We have like this beautiful crystal in the sun, and like something beautiful happened within minutes afterwards. It was like crazy. I was feeling, and then I like breathed, and I just cleared my head, had no thoughts at all. And like this beautiful thing happened, and I was like, whoa. You know, anyways, but back to like the husband part, is like my husband is my rock. Like, oh my gosh, like last year specifically, you know, I had, like I said, this like little group of haters that like love to just do everything in their power to tear me down in every aspect, like harass friends, harass random Instagram accounts that I follow, harass companies I work with, just like they just harass. And, you know, and sometimes what they do works, sometimes it doesn't. Obviously last year they really tried to like harass Moses until basically leaving me, to the point where I thought he might, because not only did they attack me, harass me, all this stuff like that, they started literally like making stuff up about him and all this stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, this is something nobody should have to put up with. And he just weathered the storm with me, and it was a storm. It was a storm. It was bad. And he stuck with me, and it just is like, and even after that, like just, we've gone through so many ups and downs on so many levels. We've gone through financial ups and downs. We've gone through turmoil. We've gone through, you know, just everything together. And he stood by me, and it gives me so much peace to know that he's there. And ultimately that makes me want to do better too. Like that's why I always try and be the best me for him, because he stood by me when I was the worst me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I gotta be better for him, for us, you know, all this stuff like that. And I just love him. Anyways, if you don't have that, if she's feeling some type of way about her husband, and I don't know, this is purely speculation, and I truly hope not, because I always liked Sam. I like his demeanor. Like she looks happy with him. And I also know sometimes I would post in the past about if I was in a relationship, and I would just post, you know, in the moment, if I was upset at the moment, you know, because people get upset with people in relationships. It's not uncommon, but I don't know. And it didn't seem like such an upset post necessarily. It just seemed like a very odd post. And I just ultimately was like, oh man, I really just hope Sam and her are okay, because I feel like if you have that partner in life at least for me, and I'll speak for me, and that's it. But someone like Brittany, I think, would too. We've obviously heard songs like Lucky and all these songs that, like, you know, if there's nothing missing in my life, why do these tears come at night? Like, you know, she seems like someone who likes to have a partner as well, to like kind of be there and take care of her and protect her, as do I, you know. And if you don't feel like you have that, or you're losing that, or something's off with that, it could really spiral you. And I like I said, I really hope that's not the case, but it just made me so sad. And I just started being like, oh no. And then all the TikToks came up about it again, and I was just like, gosh, I just always want Brittany to be okay. I just always do. And like, I am sending like loving energy, and I've always just felt, like I said, parallel to her. I feel like our lives were always like so parallel, and I hope they still are, because I'm super happy in life. I have a really great husband, and I hope she feels the same way in her life. So I'm like hoping she feels this vibration, this frequency, and yeah, I don't know, but that's pretty much it. And then book update. Oh my gosh. Okay, so everyone thought this was the big update because I tweeted something about a really big update, or a really big announcement, and no one really has guessed it yet. But the other one was about a book deal, and it's so weird because like literally 2 publishing companies, relatively big publishing companies, I was surprised, reached out. I have to look into it more. I still might self-publish because of the timeline, because I do want to get this book out just right away. Like, because it is something like kind of like what I'm feeling now, you know what I mean? And maybe in a year I like won't want to release it or something, so maybe it's like, maybe I should wait or whatever. But I was definitely shocked. I was definitely shocked because like what was it, 2 days ago I filmed that video, and I had no idea. I was like, I don't even know how you would do like publishing or any of that. Like, I don't, like, you know, or get a publisher, you know, like you have to get a writing agent, all stuff like that. And it literally just like came in my inbox, which is cool, which is why I speak stuff into existence. Obviously I have an online following, so like somewhere someone's going to hear stuff too, which kind of helps it. But I think in general, like just me speaking stuff out to the universe, that even has nothing to do with online, even stuff I speak to the universe just in my own time, comes to fruition a lot. So obviously putting it online kind of amplifies that. Yeah, it was cool. I was like, wow, it's so cool that I got this, like two different ones that were kind of interested in it. And like the only reason not the only reason, but a big reason why I would want to go with a publishing company is it can get it in stores and like airports and all that stuff, which, like, how cool would that be? Like Target, all this stuff like that. That's like, to me, that's just like goals, right? You get upfront money, which I don't know, like sometimes upfront money is not always better, because like I know when I like sell my own stuff versus when I promote for other people, like I make money selling my own things than promoting for others, like clothing and stuff like that. So sometimes it's not always good with the upfront because they take a bigger cut of the sales, but again, it gets you in stores and stuff where you can generate more sales. And proofreaders, like I self-published before, I went through a proofreading system, and like it wasn't like the I should have gone through more cycles of it, because it wasn't like, there was a lot of errors, nothing that I would have spotted because I'm not like grammatically that great at writing, but I should have had maybe someone else do a pass through. So I feel like with a publishing company, they'll make sure that it's, you know, really nice and clean as far as like grammar and stuff like that, because I am a good writer. I know I'm a good writer. I'm writing this all myself, but again, it's more the grammar and stuff. I'd always need help too with like placement, but I think I kind of got that. So this book is relatively simple. It's almost like a little bit of a memoir, but it's more about, it's like a mix of a memoir and a self-help. It's like reflecting on what I should have done different. So it's really just like a bunch of stories and not necessarily like a timeline. Kind of jumps around a little bit, but there's like chapters, and I don't know, it's been really easy. I do about 5,000 words a night, so if I'm trying to, my goal is to get like about 100,000 words, you know, finish it in 20 days. It's like relatively quick. So like I'm almost done with it. But it does come really natural and easy to write. So I think that's always a good thing when it just kind of flows. So anyways, that's that update. And yeah, I do have a really exciting announcement. Like I said, most people haven't figured it out. I'm also not pregnant at the moment that I know of. So I feel like I probably wouldn't say that if I was, you know. Always trying, but I do think in timing too, because I'm always like, okay, when the timing's right, you know what I mean? Because God's timing is always right. So yeah, I did a what's in my purse for my ASMR channel the other day. It's got a bunch of pink stuff in there now. Really fun. Oh, it kind of goes with this. This is the vibe. This is an aesthetic. All pink today in the pink car. All right, guys. We hit all the topics. Good talk. Good talk. I gotta get my roots done. Lots of exciting stuff coming next week too. Nothing like, I mean, they're big. They're all big stuff, but not the big announcement. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really good day. And I hope your new year is going to be amazing. So I love you. Protect yourself and your energy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay, so update to my announcement. I'm literally still drinking the same drink. Okay. I'm trying to get home because I do have a phone call to make, and I actually have to go into the grocery store real quick. But okay, I took a picture with this phone because it doesn't get Wi-Fi, so I took a picture of my phone here of the tweet. I actually saw my friend Nick Snyder, shout out. He used to do this thing called the viewer's voice. I don't think he does it anymore. I used to love it so much. Like Nick is great. Nick and Dustin, I met them so long ago, like in person. I've hung out with Nick a few times in person, but I met Dustin I think once in person, and they were like so nice and sweet. I love that they ended up together. I think it's so cool, and they've been really kind and respectful of me. I mean, Dustin's always been, he's been up and down with the Trish wave, but he's super sweet, and they've been, like I said, when I got pregnant and had my baby, they've been super respectful and really great and wonderful. And they're just great, wonderful people. But maybe that's a little biased, but he had tweeted, I didn't take a picture of his tweet, but he tweeted it. It's how I saw it. And I thought this was from actual Bravo, but people were like, it says real Bravo-holic, but obviously there wasn't a blue check mark. It says Trisha Paytas signed on to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I like thought it was real for a second. I was like, did I? And like, obviously I probably would know this, but it's so funny. I was just thinking, guys, like, you know how I was just saying, like, you know, I really don't, like, I couldn't see myself on, like, a reality show. I kind of could see myself on Real Housewives. Like, I know it's all about the drama, and I know I'm, like, rising above the drama now. But I could be, like, I don't know. I feel like I could be on there. I don't know. I actually, like, I know, like, I don't know. Like, I don't watch the show or anything like that. Like, I was on an episode once in my YouTube videos. I believe it was Lisa Rinna's daughters, shout out. We're like, yeah, we watched this girl, like, mukbang, eat food on camera. And I remember Erica and Lisa, like, kind of having my hand, like, their minds around it. Erica's just like, this is what people watch online. I didn't think it was bad or bitchy or anything like that. I was just like, okay, cool. But I kind of, like, overall had the feeling that it's, like, just, like, older women just yelling at each other and causing drama, just from like the clips I've seen, right? And yeah, maybe it's for show and it's scripted, like, hopefully, right? And they're just getting the bag. But I was like, God, I would never want to do that at 50. Like, I'm not going to be like those, like a toxic person at 50. But then I was like, you know what, now that, like, I'm getting older, I was like, you know what, I could definitely feed into it, but I think I would have to know it's scripted. Like, I don't think I would want to just, like, create drama. I don't know. Maybe I'd go on there as, like, a spiritual one. Maybe I'd go on there as, like, I don't know, but I kind of see myself out of it. So everyone was guessing that's my big announcement. That's also not my big announcement, but I thought it was really funny. Jennifer Coolidge in an interview where she was asked about if she watches those shows. She's like, yeah, I get a kick out of that stuff. Yeah, I watch it. And they asked her what her tagline would be, and she had, like, the best response. She goes, what was it? She's like, if any of you bitches act cunty, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. She was so funny. I loved it. I think it's great. But yeah, I feel like in my past hater Trisha life, which was only like a couple years ago, I feel like I might have been like, oh my God, like, old women with drama. But now I'm an old woman, so I could be on there. And I don't think old, even though I guess I meant it as an insult, I don't think it should be taken as an insult. It's just much like fat and stuff like that. I don't think it should be taken as an insult. You know what I mean? Like, you're old. I'm old for TikTok. It's all relative, right? Like, I'm old for TikTok, but obviously to someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, you're gonna be like, you're so young, you're so full of life. Like, you have your whole life ahead of you, which I still feel that way. But, like, relative to, like, TikTokers who are 16 years old or 18 years old, like, yeah, I'm old. But again, I don't think it's like a thing. I don't think it's like something to be, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, hey, those old women are kind of killing it. Erica Jane was on Broadway. I'm kind of an on her. I was always like an Erica Jane fan. Like, I don't know much about her. I really don't. I just liked her music videos. We used to a lot of the same dancers, so I'd always be like, what was it like dancing for Erica Jane? I think she's kind of an icon in her own right, just because she is like a woman of a certain age and still doing music videos and being a pop star. And I was like, honestly, me, I love that, like, inspiration. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, so we'll manifest that too. I'll be on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. My tagline, I posted this on TikTok, would be, I may be the old bitch on social media, but I'm the youngest housewife in this franchise. Me just like acting like I'm so young, because again, it's relative, right? Like, if someone's 50, like, then I'm young, and then I feel young. That's probably why I always dated older guys. I look kind of cute like this, but look, I don't mean it as an insult. I'm not trying to be a hater. I could bring the drama if I knew, like, people were in on it, but also I think that would give me anxiety. I feel like fake drama would give me anxiety, because I really have never fake drama? I've never fake drama. Everything I've talked about and cried about has been real, at least to me. Like, my emotions were real. My emotions were high. You guys know I borderline. Like, my emotions were high. I could regulate those now, but it all felt real. There was never a time where I just, like, fabricated drama just to fabricate it. Like, everything was like a real emotion, real feeling. I just need to get a grip on those feelings. You guys, I gotta run in because like it's really so late. I just spend so much time talking in the car, but I thought that was funny and cool, and I love Twitter for just coming up with these things. And one day, you know what, something is gonna be real, something's gonna pop off, and people are like, go Trish, or like, boo Trish. But I feel like Real Housewives is the place where you can be, am I the villain? You know, you can be that, because I know a lot of people dislike me, so kind of a good setting. But also, I don't want to be disliked. I want to be liked by everyone. I really do. But it just might not be in the cards for me. Yeah, I think I trolled for too long for that. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go get some pasta sauce. All right, bye.